Hey, it's Paul Seaver from Palm Beach Springs Water Company, and today I'm going to demonstrate one of my systems for you from Advanced Energy Transfer for creating a pure acidic environment. And in context for this video is for PFAS oxidation destruction methods. I don't care what your method is. Yeah, I don't care if it's plasma, plasma vortex, MBOT, supercritical oxidation. I don't care what it is. Everyone has the same initial requirement for their system's optimization, and that's to work in an acidic environment with no basic inhibition and being able to get to all the chemicals, making it through all the clusters, everything that comes with unbalanced water. So I'm going to restructure the water, I'm going to balance it, I'm going to make it 100% compatible with all oxidation methods. Take a drink, I feel a cough coming on. So, this machine right here is capable of membrane separation of ions in water. So, it's got power on both the cathode and the anode. So, it can separate everything efficiently. It has electronic membrane in the center of it to keep them from crossing back over and to keep the energy fields from interacting. So, once we separate them, we have a pure basic side and we have a pure acidic side. Now, I have a visual for this. It's a demonstration I use for agriculture. This is take 2 on this, so I kind of mixed them up already, but you'll get the same idea. When we split it apart for basics and put all the basics on one side, the basics are what's an inhibitor to pesticides like glyphosate. Okay? Just as bad of an inhibitor to you, just you get a different reaction from than this other chemical does. So, cinnamon clove oil have a pKa at 10.3 because they eugenol in them. Glyphosate has a pKa at 10.6, so they both react the same. They don't want to be stored in anything basic, or you get that, of course. Nobody wants that, especially not in agriculture. If you store them in 100% acidic, you get good, clean, fresh, reusable oil. Okay? 8 years. It's been in here for 8 years. Pure acidic environment, 100% stabilized. It's only foggy because I shook it up a little bit ago. But that's the ionic product. What you're looking at there is molecule separation, being able to not dissolve, but make everything soluble in water for even distribution. So I put way too much oil in here so that people could see it for a demonstration. You would normally not use that much. But even with that, because this is an acidic, 100% pure acidic environment, molecule separation, highly charged ions, completely compatible with cinnamon and clove oil's acidics, we can mix it up. It's soluble. Now, this is a representation of your gases that you're creating. Same thing. You can get 100% even distribution all the way around. So, that's the difference. That's the proof there that we, without having to get into real sophisticated analysis, which I have water analysis to show the splits on either side. But the point is, that's a visual. Visuals don't lie. One's junk, the other one's perfect. Same thing for your systems. If you thrive in an oxidizing pH and ORP, then it's impossible not to thrive getting my pre-structuring, because that's what you get. So you're getting, now, some of you may have your own pH range that you want to work in for whatever reason it is. That's your choice. I can take you, everybody wants to be below 5.0 pH because you got to get your ORP up, right? Got to be in an oxidizing environment. 3.0 pH, you're not supposed to, 3.0 pH, you are not supposed to go beyond. But what I'm going to say, and one day I'm going to show, but it ain't going to be today, I could go beyond 3.0 pH because I'm not using chemicals. So, big difference there. And I know that through other things. So we change the rules when you get rid of the chemicals. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this base water right here, which right now it's showing 9.4 pH, which is really 10.4 pH. And the reason is I've been running my alkaline water in there, which is 11.8 pH, so it raised the pH of that jug. But here's the thing. It doesn't make any difference whatsoever, and that's the point. So I don't care what pH that drum is. It doesn't make any difference. That 11.8 pH alkaline one goes in my machine, it's going to turn into 2.4 acidic. So it just doesn't matter. So in the system for you, we're separating, we're only keeping the acidics, and we're sending the basics back here to get run back through the machine and get flipped to acidics. So that's why it doesn't matter. But what I'm going to show you is, so my pH meter I already know is 1 pH off to the low. So it says right now 9.4, that means we're at 10.4 pH, okay? Our TDS is 526 parts per million, which is normal for my well water. I'm out here in Arcadia. There's pits all over the place. The water's terrible. So all I'm going to do is turn on my machine, hit run, hit start, leave it alone for a minute, let it warm up, and then we're going to take some low side and we're going to take some high side, and then we're going to measure them. And after I take the low side and the high side, then I'm going to change the pH of the low side while continuing to send the high side back to the beginning. So because we don't need the high side, so we won't test it after that. But I want to show you that the meter is calibrated by showing you the extreme high, showing you the extreme low. So the first thing we'll do should be pretty good. I just got it set randomly. I didn't take any readings on it, so I don't know what it'll be. So I'm going to take the low side, the high side, the basic side. I'll rinse the cup out real good. Alright, then I'm going to take the pH meter, which right now is showing, like I said, 9.4. We're going to put it in here, it'll calibrate faster. And then I'm going to take the low side, rinse out the cup. Water in there. Put our ORP meter in that side. We get equal amounts of water. Not that I want it to be equal, it's just so it doesn't, it's not too much for the meter. Oh, I just lost my machine. Turn a little more water on since we got that. Just got my water running a little too low. Shut down on the lower limit. Alright, I won't shut down now. Alright, so what we got here, this is the basic peel off. It's showing 11.33. It could be 12.33. We'll find out when we do the low. If it's still, if we measure the low and it comes in at 1.5, then we know we're still low. But other than that, so we're at 11.32, and look at that ORP. Negative 814. I'm shaking it so it changes a little bit, but we could get it up to negative 850. Once you start putting electrolyte in there, we can even go a little bit beyond that. So that shows you we're definitely electrolyzing. on the cathode. We're getting a super high pH, and this is good for 500 part per million TDS water. This is real good. That's because I got a lot of power on this machine. So there you go. So now we'll do the other side. So it's going to take a second. It's going to take a second to calibrate. But like I was saying, so everything that goes back into the drum gets flipped when it runs back through the machine, so there's no wastewater. It's dropping real fast. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to measure some gases. And so we're going to get a kind of a baseline on some measurement of gases at low pH. And then when we get all done, if the video is not too darn long, I'll throw some electrolyte in there and show you how to increase these. But one special thing we're going to do, and it's the only things that I can measure here simply, chlorine, hydrogen peroxide. We're going to have both. All right, here we go. Now, as I said, the pH meter is usually one low off. So we're at 1.5, we're really at 2.5. So that means that was really not 11.8, it was 12.8, which is accurate for the amount of power I was putting on the thing. Man, it's knocking my whole camera down. There we go. Okay, what's our ORP? Right now, I'm shaking it, but we're over 1,000. We may not get a super high ORP from a low TDS, but all we have to be is over 800. So we're well over 800. But I think that's because I was shaking it though. Oh, we're almost over 1,100 now. So anyway, so there's your high ORP with the low pH. You got to have one to back up the other, right? Okay, and now we know the meter works on both extremes. Okay, we're over 1,000, almost at 1,100. We're at, I'm saying 2.5, but it's saying 1.1. So we went from, what was it, 9.4 to 1.1. Now what we'll do is we'll bring the pH up. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a little bit more water. We're at 2.3, let's bring it up to 3 and see what we got. I only want to bring it up to 3.0 just to show you an adjustment from, what did we say, what was it, 1.5 to 3.0, you know, because that's the range you want to be in. Doesn't matter if the meter's right or wrong. I just want to show the control over being able to dial it in to whatever. If you had a correct meter, it would be the correct 3.0. Okay, let's see what we got right here. I want this one. Let's see what we got right here. If it comes up high enough. If it doesn't come up high enough, I just put a little bit more water on it. You gotta put a little more on. Let's see if we make it this time. Oh yeah, I think we're gonna make it this time. I think we're gonna make it this time. It takes a second for it to come up. Let's see. Oh, we're running a little slow. I might have to turn on just a little bit more water. Just a little bit more. Just a little more. Only at 2.3. We went from 1.5 to 2.3. Let's see if we can get her this time. Oh yeah, we're gonna get it this time. We're gonna get it this time. 2.8. Oh, come on, baby, come on. Well, I'm just going to get it close. I'm just proving to you I could change the pH. We don't have, we could get it right on the money. But I don't want to make the video longer than it needs to be. So we're almost right there at 3.0. Oh, come on, baby. There we go, there we go. Come on, come on. Ah, there we go, on the money. So we want to be over 3.0 anyway. So in this case, we would just crank it up just a hair anyhow. Get it up to like 3.5 or whatever. But there's your 3.0. So now, the high limit is 5.0, right? So now we're going to make 5.0. And you notice we ain't doing nothing but just changing flow. Let me see. I don't want to go super high. We do need a little more. Still using the red side, it's still the low side. The important thing is low isolation. We can't switch over to the basic side, and we're going to have a problem. We've got to keep on the low side. I think we'll probably be pretty close this time. Let's see. No, maybe not. A little bit more. Just one more time how to get it. We're at 4.5, but I want to get a little closer to 5. And you notice we're still throwing the high side back here, so it's not affecting our low side whatsoever. That's because, like I said, the higher that is, the lower it is when it comes back through. Alright, we should be pretty close now. 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, 4.8. I might have went too high. 4.9, 5. Went too high. Alright, settle down, settle down, settle down. Anyway, I could turn it down a little bit. I can turn it down a little bit. Turn it down a little bit. I don't want to make excuses. No excuses. No excuses. Man, I turned it up way too high. Way too high. Alright, not going up no more. Now it's going back down. bit more. It's holding on. It's holding on for dear life. Come on, baby. Start dropping for me. There we go. I think we'll hit it this time. Oops, that one was in there. Alright, there we go. I got it back down under 5. I wanted to get it just under 5, but not over 5, so there we go. We're at 4.9. So we went from, what was it, 11.1 to 1.5 to 3 point whatever to 4.85. Total control over the pH adjustment. This is 100% acidic. Now, even at 5.0 pH, I don't know what's going to happen because it's only got 500 parts per million. Let's see if we can measure any gases in here. So I'm taking a clean pH strip. Oh yeah. I mean, it's not in a... You're in the release range here. This is hypochlorous acid, and there's no electrolyte in here. Hypochlorous acid is like 6,000 parts per million. This is 500. But the proof that the gases are there is there. It's less than 25 parts per million, but it doesn't matter. They're there. Hydrogen peroxide. We're not supposed to be creating the gases for you. You're supposed to be creating them yourself. We're supposed to create an environment in which your gases can thrive. If our gases are stabilized in this environment, that's the proof your gases can thrive, right? They're all compatible. You're building all the same gases that I'm building. Well, I'm building more than some of you, but depending on the technology, you're building the same gases that I'm building. So if my gases are stable in this environment, your gases are stable in this environment. That's the whole point. I can't measure the hydrogen peroxide because it's too weak. All right, so what we'll do is to show you, well, we're already on 23 minutes, so I can build super strong chlorine products. Here's one I'm letting age. My products are so strong. Okay, so this is a good example anyway of how stable our gases are in a medium, right? This started out at 1,500 parts per million. It's called chlororgano. I'm letting it evaporate on purpose because I'm trying to collect salts. And I want to see what happens after I reconstitute the salts. All right, so taking a clean strip. This blew your mind. I could build some strong gases. Now, keep in mind, though, this is like 3,500 parts per million. Well, it's probably more than that now because of evaporation. I don't want to stick a meter in there because I'll contaminate it. It's over. These lights in here suck. If you had, if you could look at it the way I'm looking at it, it's actually lighter than the 2000. It just all depends on the way the light hits it. So it started at 1,500. Now, that is about 1 month old. It started at 350 ml. It's now below 100 ml. That's how much evaporated out of it in an open container. Open container, man. For a month, and the chlorine's still there. But watch this, hydrogen peroxide. You can't smell nothing, you just smell like water. It doesn't use oxidation or corrosion for delivery. It uses ionic product. Travels through an aquaporin. It's bioselective. Pretty cool stuff. I created it. So here's a hydrogen peroxide off the freaking chain, more than 750 parts per million. So if that's 2,000 parts per million chlorine, this should be 1,000 parts per million hydrogen peroxide. Not hard to believe it's 1,000 parts per million. That's some stable stuff. So we could jam some gases in there. That mostly just has to do with electrolytes and power. So that's not a big deal. But what I'm demonstrating for you is just the ability to shut my machine off. Just the ability to separate the ions, give you a pure acidic, medium with a high ORP, dissolved gases, single hydrogen, positively charged hydrogen ions. That's all you're working with. There's no inhibition whatsoever. It will make your system superior. There's nothing to slow. Now you have the perfect environment to apply your energy. And you have the perfect non-structure in order for that energy to travel. I mean, that's what we specialize in, advanced energy transfer. That's what we're all doing, mass transfer of energy. You can call it gases if you want, but what are the gases? The gases are energy. They're protons. We're using acidic gases. So there you go. That's what you got. And if you're interested in optimizing your system and adding this to it, I ain't doing nothing to your system but creating an environment for it to thrive. That's it. Other than that, the rest is up to you. Adios, amigos.